It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead's third spin-off, World Beyond. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a new scene that was in one of the latest teasers that they released for the upcoming episode, Season 1, Episode 3, which is called The Tiger and the Lamb. Now, this scene that I'm going to talk about was actually in the latest teaser that they released. There's a trailer that they released right after the previous episode, and that trailer actually didn't have this scene. But they released another teaser trailer earlier today that was identical to the one that they released after episode 2 aired, but with one difference, and that difference was that it included this scene right here, which we're going to look at. Now, the reason I have question marks here is because there's something very important and interesting in it. But at the same time, before I get into it, I do want to put out a spoiler warning because there's some major reveals in terms of what's behind the black box that I have. So even though I didn't get this from a spoiler site, I still want to put a spoiler warning because I do understand why some people may not want to know this information before the episode. And also, if you're checking this video and you don't want to know, don't read the comments either, because I'm sure that people are going to be discussing it heavily in the comments. Actually, more generally speaking, be aware of spoilers for this episode because the episode was released earlier on AMC Premiere, and people who have watched it will definitely want to talk about it in comments on social media and things like that. So if you don't want to know that information, be aware of the comment section of videos like this one. I have not yet watched the episode. I do plan on watching it probably earlier tomorrow, but I saw this image and I had to talk about it before I did anything else. But with that introduction out of the way, let's just dive right into this video. So this is the picture right here. As you can see, we obviously have inside one of CRM's main communities. So we are inside Elizabeth Kublek's house or apartment building, but look outside. There is like a proper city out there. When I first saw these shots in the main trailer, it didn't include this image. It included other shots of the apartment building, like inside of it, but it didn't show us the outside. So in my head, I thought that she was still at the Omaha colony. But obviously this reveals that not only is she not at the Omaha colony now, but that she may have actually gone back to the CRM, which is extremely interesting. We do have Elizabeth and a CRM soldier talking. The CRM soldier's name is Barsa. At least that's what it says on the Wikia pages. But this is extremely interesting. And obviously in the voiceover, if we listen, they're definitely talking about what happened at the end of Season 1, Episode 1, with Elizabeth ordering the slaughter of everyone at the Omaha colony. This voiceover was actually in the main trailer as well. So let's look at specific details in this scene that I thought was absolutely interesting. The first one, which is the obvious one, which we talked about, is the outside. So like I said, it's a proper city. It looks like it's inside one of CRM's communities and probably the main one because Elizabeth lives there. Elizabeth is, of course, a lieutenant colonel for the CRM. So I'm assuming that she would have a house in one of the main communities. It could also be another smaller community that the CRM has, but I'm leaning towards this being the main CRM community, or at least the one that has civilians in it. Let's just put it that way. We do know that CRM doesn't have a lot of civilians, but I think maybe they have like one big city where they have all of their civilians, but they also do other maybe shady stuff outside of that specific city. But looking at the city itself, we obviously don't know where it is, but I'm assuming it has to be Philadelphia. And the reason I say that is because in the main movie teaser for The Walking Dead, we actually saw the helicopter going towards the skyline, which looked to be the skyline of Philadelphia. So I'm assuming that that's where this is at. Now, whether Rick is at this community is another question. Whether he's at this community right now is also a different question, but I absolutely love the city in the background that we see. It's obviously not like your normal, typical city either. It's been overgrown by vegetation, which makes sense because we are in an apocalyptic world. Even though they are inside a community, but it's not like their city would look just like a regular city. I'm sure that it would still look a little different. And obviously we've seen things like that on other zombie shows and movies as well, where even if there's a community or settlement set up, the inside of it looks different than your typical city or town. The other thing I want to point to is the poster that's right in the center, which says self-indulgence at this time is helping the enemy, which is a pretty CRM thing to say if you ask me. But that's a pretty interesting thing that she has on there. Another poster is flag of the United Kingdom, which makes sense because Elizabeth is from the United Kingdom. We know that from her accent. So that makes a lot of sense. The other thing I do want to mention is the table. Right on the table, we not only see what looks to be documents, like Elizabeth is reading something, which is interesting, but also there's a gun there by her side. So she's always ready. Even though she's inside her apartment in a city that seems safe, she has her gun right by her side. And the other thing I want to mention is even though Barca is there, we don't see any other CRM soldiers, which is interesting because in the main trailer, we see a bunch of CRM soldiers behind him. So that could go two ways. One is that they could be just outside and they did come with him, which means that they are loyal to him or they support him. Or the other way it could go is that whatever this discussion is all about leads Elizabeth to call the CRM soldiers to come take Barca away, which is interesting. The other thing I want to mention is the TV. So they have electricity. They have an oven going. They have running water, it appears, and all of that, which is extremely interesting. But look at the TV. We don't necessarily see what's on there. There could be like a DVD player or a cassette tape player or something connected to it. So it's not like it's live TV. It could be that she's watching, movies and things like that. But I just thought that was extremely interesting. But other than those things, there isn't really too much else that I wanted to talk about from this scene right here. But I think that was enough to get me very intrigued about this episode. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about this scene in the comment section below. Please do not post any spoilers from the episode. If you've seen the episode, if you can kind of say anything without bringing up spoilers, that would also be good. But with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to share and smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.